right, everybody, here we are today at We Spark for the Vitalize Harmonize series. I did introduce a little bit about it, but I'm going to also give you a couple of other things. One, make sure you have a glass of water available and a comfortable place for you to sit and a place where you can lie down as if you were in a Shavasana or Yoga Nidra position, like a supine position at the end. So today we're going to have a mixture of lecture, of information that I'm going to share with you, and then a lot of experiences that will follow up the lecture so you can actually apply everything you're learning. And at the end, we're going to have a Tamado style sound healing harmonization using these beautiful instruments that I have in my studio here that are all tuned to the elements. In the previous series, when we were teaching these techniques, we were working with the idea of the five elements in Chinese medicine as a structural foundation of the philosophy and practice, the techniques of what I do. In this particular series of classes, we also refer to the five elements as part of the structure and the philosophy and everything, but we're also going to be using a lot of really advanced and interesting evolutionary energy healing techniques. So when people talk about various energy healing things, sometimes there's a little mystery about what we're talking about. We've learned to kind of know that yoga, for example, is part of our, pretty much part of the Western diaspora now of healing techniques. People have gotten very used to yoga being, something that's not so mysterious, where maybe as 10 years ago it was. Sound healing is becoming much more popular in the past few years. A lot of different techniques using sound. Today we're going to be using therapeutic movement techniques of Qigong. And Qigong is, as you know, or may not know, is an ancient Chinese, therapeutic movement technique. Underneath the Qigong umbrella, there are many different brocades or forms. And today I'm going to be sharing a couple of those with you that'll give you some exposure and some experience with the energy healing technique that's part of the Qigong movement. So Qigong is about flexibility, strength, breathing, balance, clearing the mind, strengthening the joints and the muscles. That's the vitalize part of the Vitalize Harmonize techniques. The harmonize part deals with working with the energy field, the aura, which we're going to talk about today, the subtle, faster than light energy that we all have outside of our physical body. And the technique here is when we're able to clear and keep our energy field surrounding the body clear of distortions, where it's very robust and resilient, then we can prevent disease from entering into the physical body. Now, some of you are in treatment. I know that you're dealing with things in the physical here, but this is also going to help you deeply relax and learn to manage your nervous system, which is a very important part of these techniques. Learning to understand how to manage and to work with techniques that'll give you responsiveness in your nervous system and resilience, so that when stressful things happen to you, that you're able to respond rather than to react. And I think these techniques will really help enhance that capability that you will have in regards to that in the self-healing sort of diaspora. Okay, so that's kind of the idea here. Now, today, I'm going to, in a second, I'm going to show you some handouts and a little description of what we're doing. So I'm just going to ask you to participate on a level that feels the best for you. If your hips hurt and you need to sit and you feel any kind of pain in your body, please listen to your body and do what feels right for you. Certainly you're not here for me, but I am here for you. So however this feels the best for you, please do listen to your body and take care of yourself. We do highly value people's confidentiality here. If you feel you don't want to be on screen, that's okay. You don't need to be. If you do want to be on screen, that's okay too. I'll be on the spotlight the whole time, so you can follow my instruction here. And then later, if you come on at the end, we'll have a nice little community hangout for a minute. I don't take questions when I'm teaching. I don't recommend that you take notes. And mainly because we're recording the session and you'll have the handout sent to you later, I think you'll find that everything that we're talking about today you can review pretty easily and pretty quickly at home from your own home space. Okay? All right. So have a sip of water, everybody. Cheers to you all. And we're going to go ahead and start. I'm going to stand here. And we're just going to create a little intentionality for the session today. So if you can stand, I'm going to ask you to put both feet together and just feel your feet anchoring you to the earth. In this practice of Qigong that we do, we're very interested in connecting to the earth and the sky. So the earth and the sky are going to be different sort of aspects of our energetic being as well. The sending and receiving, the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine, however you like to look at that, in the sort of idea of balancing our energy as human beings, the left and right brain, that kind of thing. So all of this is wonderfully connected, and through the lens of energy healing, it makes a lot of sense. So if you just put your hands facing down for a moment and rock back and forth, we like to call this willow in the wind, feeling your feet anchoring you into the earth and feeling the energy of the earth underneath you for stability and groundedness. And just feel yourself being really stable and safe and grounded. And now raise your hands and begin to just gently rub your fingernails together. And when I do this, people are often very fascinated. Why are we rubbing our fingernails? Well, I'm very interested in circulation to the extremities. A big part of the Qi movement or Qi movement techniques are creating circulation to the extremities. So by doing this, we're sending signals to get some energy moving to the fingertips. And now smack your hands together and rub them together. Now when we do this, we're going to notice right away that you feel some warmth and some heat, which is the other way of noticing that energy is moving. In the center of our palms, we have these energy centers called the Lao Gong chakras, and those are the energy activation centers. When you get Reiki or Tuinani, hands-on healing, those areas of the palms get activated. Okay, now begin shaking just the fingers and hands. This is called mentastics. Mentastics is a process of shaking muscle groups in progressive order. So first we're just starting with the hands. We're getting tingling and circulation going. Now shake up to your elbows. Good, good, good. Now notice your breathing. Take a couple easy breaths as you do this. Start to become aware of your breath. We're going to be talking a lot about breath today. Now your shoulders. Get your shoulders in it. And now belly and chest, bouncing a little bit. And if you can, hopping like you're jumping rope. And now raise your hands up and shake them, jumping on your trampoline. Now take your hands and place them close. See if you can feel this little ball of energy between the palms of your hands. If you put them close, you may feel some tingling. You may notice there's a little ball of energy there. It's pretty cool. The more you practice, the more tangible this gets. But just know it's there, even if you don't feel it yet. If it's not super highly developed, it's there. But we're going to be expanding this ball of energy and feeling this energy a lot today in different ways. So now place your hands over your lower dantian. If you're identifying as female, it will be left over right. If you're identifying as male, it will be right over left. And it's right below your belly button. This area called the Hara Center, or the lower dantian. It's also the second chakra. We're going to talk a little about that as well. All of these terms and techniques here are referring to the most concentrated energy center in the body. The dantian is where we create our sort of emotional chi, where our sexuality is expressed, where we have the seat of our emotions, most powerful concentrated energy center in the body. So we're talking a lot about energy today in that regard. We like to start here and feel what's going on here in this part of the body. So close your eyes for a moment and just feel the energy that you feel right now. How are you feeling? A lot of what we're working with in this series is emotional clearing, emotional processing, emotional understanding and intelligence. We get really familiar with how to work with the emotions when they come up. So take a deep breath here by pushing the belly out. Bring the energy up into the chest. Hold it for just a quick, flash point. Exhale, pull the belly to the spine. So this is a mindfulness type of breathing that gives us present moment awareness and gets us connected more to feeling what's happening with our emotions. Just check in with yourself. Let everything be welcome without any observation of judgment or noticing that anything is wrong, or all the emotions are going to be changing like clouds in the sky. We just want to get a reading on how you're feeling today. Whatever's happening for you is fine and appropriate for you in this moment. But if you're feeling a little off, that's okay. If things need a little balance, that's okay. We're living in tricky times. There's a lot going on in our lives. And if you're in treatment or recovery, then there's also a number of other layers of things that we're feeling and dealing with in our events, circumstances, and relationships. So just welcome how you feel here today. Take another deep breath, push that belly out. Bring it up into your chest for a still point. Exhale, pull it back to your spine. So this type of breathing is really powerful to get us connected immediately to the central nervous system as well. We're going to be talking about this very important nerve called the vagus nerve, the back of the head, the top of the spine, the bottom of the skull, that regulates our nervous system. Vagus nerve stimulation and tonification is a big part of Qigong, sound healing, and yoga, and a number of other energy healing techniques as well. So just noticing how you feel. Now create an intention for yourself here that feels right for you of how you would like to feel at the end of this class. How do you see yourself? Picture yourself any way that feels comfortable for you in a state of consciousness that you would like to achieve at the end of the class. Feel into how that feels for you. Well, now with your eyes closed again, breathe into that state of consciousness. Push the belly out. Bring it up into your chest. A still point, and then exhale. So we're going to be working with another type of breathing here where we count the breath, and we can do that with this one as well. We can practice breathe in, push the belly out, count how long it takes you to breathe in. Hold it for a still point, and then exhale twice as long with pulling the belly into the spine. We call this inverse proportional breathing. And the exhale's twice as long. And now just take a nice cleansing breath here. All right, and now your hands to your heart and your affirmation. I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. I love, accept, and appreciate all aspects of myself unconditionally. All right, very good, everyone. Thank you. Let's have a sip of water, okay? And just let yourself find a place where you can relax. Again, no need for pen or paper or taking notes. What I'm going to do right away is I'm going to share with you some documents and some things that I'm going to talk about today in the lecture part of our class. And you can see session 2 is breathing, energy healing for balancing the emotions. So in this series, as I mentioned to you, we're going to be dealing with different types of energy that moves forward, and that one class builds on the energy of the other. So in this session here, we're talking about how our complex nervous system can be thought of as either responsive, in what we call parasympathetic, or reactive, what we call sympathetic. So whenever we are exposed to stress, trauma, difficult emotional states, a lot of times we just react. We haven't learned how to manage that, and there's nothing wrong with us when we do that. But what we're hoping to do and achieve is finding techniques and being able to respond to stress rather than to react. So we're going to learn unique sound and energy healing visualization and sonic breathing techniques related to the five elements that'll assist us in managing our nervous system, our awareness, understanding, and acceptance of the emotions that we experience. And the acceptance is really important because, as I mentioned earlier, just accepting all parts of ourselves and not feeling like your emotions are there's something wrong with you, or they're negative, or that they're causing so much harm, self-judgment, etc. Whenever we feel a certain way. Yes, we will have challenges with emotions, but learning to accept what is rather than resisting, we'll be able to have a lot more movement forward in terms of managing our emotions and our nervous system. So we're going to work with clearing stagnant energy from the organs. And the organs contain a lot of energy around emotion. In the last class, we talked about how the elements are associated with not only the organs, but with colors and sounds and seasons, breath sounds, various types of energetic dynamics that make up how we view our health through the five elements of Chinese medicine. So we're going to work with releasing stagnant qi in the organs. As we move along, we'll learn different techniques about how to do that, as well as tonifying, strengthening the organs so that the emotions that are there are balanced and purified. And then we'll experience acoustic sound healing harmonization to balance the energy field. And when we talk about energy field, last week or last month when we were here, I showed you a diagram that showed the different layers of energy outside the physical body. This is often called the aura or the biofield. So the principle, as I mentioned earlier, is when the biofield is strong and resilient and clear of distortions of energy, then we are able to prevent disease. And preventive ideas give us sort of a sense of repowerment. And I say repowerment because we already have the power. We're just kind of re-upping what we already have. So this is a very powerful fundamental idea in the self-healing diaspora. Okay, so this is the idea of energy healing. Now, the first thing I want to share with you is this article that I was able to find from Dr. Jason Miller, who was one of my friends and kind of an associate of mine when I was living in Ashland, Oregon. And he wrote this wonderful article, like demystifying qi. Like, what is qi? And so when we're talking about energy healing, or we're talking about qigong or qi, what is that? What are we talking about? It's not just oxygen. We know that when we're breathing, our lungs bring in energy for life force. But what is life force? What is that? Does that include oxygen? Is it different than oxygen? It can be a little, mysterious. So one of the things that he says here in this third paragraph, which I think is the most interesting, he says, the basic principle that the body has an innate capacity, to heal itself, to overcome disease, and to survive is the basis for the life force concept, or the qi concept. It represents the central organizing force that unites the actions of the body into a cohesive whole. It is observed in the purposeful actions that resist the dissipative forces of the natural universe. In other words, the dissipative things that kind of break us down, that cause aging or disease, and allow living beings to conserve their own existence. So, in other words, repowering, right? So the idea that qi has a sort of an innate ability when we connect with it and harness it to help be one of the fundamental aspects of self-healing. So I'll send this article to you. I think it's really interesting to read it, and it gives us kind of an idea of what we're talking about when we're talking about energy healing or life force or qi. Now, for those of you who may be interested in yoga, in India they call qi prana. So you may hear the term pranayama, which is a type of breathing technique. in yoga. There are various types of pranayama techniques. We're going to learn a couple things today that are related to that. If you want to go deeper into pranayama, we can explore that sometime off the class. I have tons of great stuff on that. But the idea is the breathing of life force energy, sometimes called Oregon energy, or in Japanese they call it ki, ki. Chinese qi is pronounced chi. Prana, ki, chi. Um, all of these referencing the same life force energy that we are able to access through through our lungs, and also through, the chakras and other subtle energy techniques. So key. Now, first of all, what I want to do is I want to share with you this type of technique in Qigong called standing like a tree. And there's also, you'll see here at the bottom right, there's a seated, what's called Wu Ji meditation. So if you notice in this diagram, they have a person with their arms out like this in front of their heart. And in this circle here, in this field between the heart and the hands, there's like a ball of imaginary energy, right? This is the key or the chi of our energy field, of our aura. Last month we talked about the physical, and then the etheric right next to the physical where the chakras are. A little further out, the astral where the emotions are. And then the mental field where thought forms are. And then the causal, which is past life memories. So the further we go away from the physical, the more subtle the energy field is. But there's very important information that hangs out in our energy field. So when we're able to feel and connect with that field and just feel its presence, be aware of its presence as a first step, and then use techniques to purify the field with breathing, qigong, sound healing, etc., then we create the resilience that helps prevent disease from ending up in the physical. And if we do have physical complications, this purification of the field helps to give us more resilience and immune system responsiveness. So you can see we're going to practice this technique later, but the first thing that I want to practice here initially with you is this third position, what's called Wu Ji. And you can see it's just a standing meditation. Now, in meditation, a lot of times people will sit. You can lie down in meditation. Often it's not encouraged because people will tend to fall asleep when you're lying down. But standing meditations, I think are very valuable. And Qigong has a number of different types of standing meditations. You can see that there's a seated version of Wu Ji here too. If your hips hurt or your legs are tired or you need to sit, you can do it the same way. And if you notice in the hands here, the left hand is underneath the right hand, seated right below the dantian in the seated Wu Ji position. So Wu Ji is a way of connecting with the earth and the sky, and it gives us a feeling of groundedness and centeredness and balance. So I'd like to practice that with you right now. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share. And if you can stand, go ahead, have a sip of water. And so the Wu Ji principle is to just be completely relaxed, standing with your knees slightly bent. Tuck your hip a little bit. You can feel your energy coming up from the earth like we did at the very beginning. If you practice this, you feel an energy coming from the earth, but this time absorb it through your feet. Turn your hands up toward the sky. Now imagine, if you will, that your body is completely relaxed and you're breathing through your hands, as if your hands are like pulling energy down from the sky. And so I'm going to introduce the idea of visualizing that it's white, pure energy, almost like snow, that you're breathing in from the sky through your hands. So practice that. Push the belly out as you breathe in. And now exhale through your feet into the earth, of red, warm energy into the earth. And once again, breathing from the sky through the hands, white, pure prana or chi in through the hands, into the energy of your body. Push that belly out. Exhale through your feet into the earth, red, warm energy. Pull the belly into the spine. Then practice a couple more like that with your eyes closed. Just really be aware of this energy coming in through your hands. Absorb it into yourselves. Push the belly out. Visualize white. Then exhale red, warm energy into the earth. So again, connection between the earth and the sky. We can also observe the earth as being feminine or primordial feminine. The earth is receiving energy from us. And we're receiving energy from the sky, from the masculine, from the grandfathers of the sky. So the yang aspect of this energy is the sky. The yin aspect is the earth. Earth and sky, masculine, feminine, yin and yang. Another couple of easy breaths in the same way. Just notice what's happening with your hands and your feet. You may even notice a little tingling or activation there. Now open your eyes. You're going to scoop that in, close your stance, and back into the dantian. Left over right if you're identifying as female, right over left. Otherwise, breathe in, push that belly out, and exhale a nice cleansing breath. Just okay. So I want to emphasize to you a couple of things there that we were talking about. One is this aspect of giving, sending, and receiving. We're gonna expand upon this and some of the other breathing techniques that I'm going to offer you, where we actually connect to the right and left side of the body, right and left brain. So all of these things are sort of woven together in the idea of how we can balance our energy awareness to take care of our nervous system and to be more aware of how to keep our energy field resilient with these techniques. So I'm going to go ahead and share something else with you here. And this one now is a type of breathing technique that if any of you have studied Qigong, you may notice this breathing technique that's called the Chinese breath. Now, if you'll notice this, there's a little delineation here of organs on the left side and sounds and pitches, colors, and points of focus. So what I'm interested in sharing with you, though, are the sounds that you hear. Now, these are breath sounds. So it notices here, it says, the sounds here are not actually sounded, but they're expressed through the breath. And there may be, you may notice that in different parts of China, different teachers teach different sounds for the breath. And sometimes people will be, well, which sound is correct and why are there so many? But this is the beauty of when you have a noble science that has thousands of years of teaching. Sometimes there are some variations. But I think what's important here is the intentionality of what you're actually, what your actual intentions are in the breathing itself. So just know that when you're focused on these techniques and you have the intention for it to be something that cleanses or clears the stagnant energy in the organ, that it will work for you. They're very effective. So the idea is to use these breathing techniques to clear and open the lungs, the organs, to clear the stagnant emotional chi that's hanging around in the organs. Now, the other thing that's interesting here are the colors, because part of the energy healing aspect of working with the organs is the visualization of color. And many times people will say, well, when I close my eyes, everything's black. I can't see any color, how do you do that? And Well, there's different ways you can learn to do it, and at some point maybe we'll dive in and do a separate color class where we can work with color. But one of the things that's kind of interesting if you get a chance is to take like a red silk scarf, for example, or a red cloth, put it up to a window with the sun coming through it, and just stare at it. Just look at it for a couple of minutes, and then close your eyes real quick. And what will happen is you'll get to see the actual green color will pop up in your eye, the complement of the red. So the same happens with you know blue and orange and with violet and yellow. So it's really interesting how we can learn to do this. The other thing that I like to do when I'm learning to visualize is trust what nature teaches us. So we all have had an experience of, a puffy white cloud in the sky, or white snow, something pure white for the color white. The blue sky is a great image that we're all very familiar with, or some people like the ocean, like the blue of the ocean. Red would be like, for example, a sunset that you see over the ocean or something, that red sky at night. Yellow, which is the earth element, is something that, can be accessed through, like, say, if you've ever seen a field of daisies, or if you have an idea of what the sun feels like in the mid sky, or a sunrise when you see that golden glow. So each of these colors, and green, of course, could be like a tall field of grass that you can see waving in the wind. So white is for the lungs, blue is for the kidneys, red is for the heart, yellow for the stomach, and green for the liver. So what we're going to do here, I'm going to teach you a series of breathing techniques, starting with the lungs, and then we're going to learn how to use these techniques to clear energy from the organs. And we're going to practice this as we move along, using sounds later that are actual sounds that we'll make with our voice, and using these techniques as what I call cleansing breaths. Okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to guide you and ask you to close your eyes for a moment and place your hands on your lungs and visualize like a nice white color on your lungs. Again, picture this white color as a puffy white cloud or white snow that you've seen. And get in touch a little bit with any feelings of sadness or grief that might be hanging around your energy field, your events, circumstances, and relationships. Take a breath into your lungs. Breathe in, push the belly out. Visualize white. Gather up that sense of feeling a little bit of grief or sadness and let it go with the sound like this. And just relax for a moment. Place your hands on your heart. Visualize red fire element chi here. This is life force energy in the lungs. And so we're going to let go of anything that doesn't feel like love, maybe abandonment or a disappointment or broken hearted energy, a lost love of some kind. Breathe into the heart, push the belly out. Visualize red fire element chi. Let it be there. Gather up everything that you want to let go of. Exhale this sound with like a lot of heat. And just relax for a moment. Place your hands on your stomach. Visualize gold, like the energy of a morning sunrise again, or a golden bar, or a gold watch, or some kind of gold coin, something gold. If you're worried about something in the future, something has been hanging around you, just breathe into that energy for a moment. Push the belly out. Let that energy of worrisome energy come into the stomach. Hold it. We're going to let go with this sound. And relax. Now place your hands on your kidneys and the back small of your back. Visualize blue. This is water element energy. of flow and ease and grace. And when we're challenged in the water element, we experience maybe some fear that might be creeping in from the past, something that's made you afraid. So if that's something that you can just touch in for a second, let it be present. Breathe into the kidneys, push the belly out as you breathe in. Gather up all this energy around fear. Let it go with this sound. Relax for a moment. Place your hands over your liver, lower right abdomen. Liver, of course, is about flexibility, growth, creativity. And when we're challenged with the energy of the liver, we may experience anger, frustration, feeling stuck, resentful, something along those lines. If that's been around your energy at all, just notice it. Breathe into the liver. Visualize that green energy there. Hold your energy. Let go of all that energy out of the liver with this sound. And now take one big cleansing breath. Push the belly out, breathe in. And let it go with a sigh. Just and just sit quietly for a moment. Just take a couple easy, relaxed breaths. Great. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, have a sip of water. Okay, so here we've noticed a couple things in this lens of energy healing with these breathing techniques. We've added color to it. So the color is going to be something that's very fundamental in the elements. And as we get more, used to visualizing and working with this, these colors will come easier to you. You'll find something in your natural world that you can relate to that will assist you in visualizing the color. If you have any questions about this, again, let me know and I'll provide other resources, charts, and things to that nature. Last month, we sent an element chart of the 5 elements that had depictions of the elements in colored circles. So this is learning an interesting system of corresponding energies that all are complementary. So that's the Chinese breath technique. Again, when we develop this through sound practices later with the organs, we're going to use these techniques as cleansing breaths at the end of our practices. So now the other one I want to share with you real quickly is this type of breathing called the 4-4 energy breath. And sometimes this can be thought of as a box breathing, where you breathe in for a certain count, you hold for that same count, exhale for the same, and then hold out. So it's kind of a box, what they often refer to, so that you can visualize the sort of balance between the inhale, holding, and the exhale. So this is a way that what's interesting is that it will relax and energize you at the same time. If you feel tired or you have excess emotions, it rejuvenates your spirit, and it just gives you a way to kind of relax and kind of clear a little bit of mental brain fog, and it lets you just relax and clear your mind, So it's a great pickup. We only have a few minutes. You can do it 2 or 3 times a day if you like. And they say here in this article to do it between 3 and 4 p.m. to avoid the late afternoon, what they call pass out syndrome, or sometimes the little energy slump that happens. So the idea is to place your hands together at your heart. Okay, and they'll give you some additional information here that you can read, but I'm just going to ask you to, just close your eyes for a moment and I'll guide you through it. So the idea here is just to feel this energy being very calm and centered in the center of your being. And so using the technique of pushing the belly out, we're going to very consciously breathe in for 4 counts. You can breathe 4 sniffs, like, and then hold it for 4, exhale for 4, pull the belly in, and hold it out. So once again, breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold for 4. Now we'll do one more series. Breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. And now take a nice cleansing sigh here, just and breathe in a nice relaxed fashion. You may notice just with those 3 rounds how different you feel. You may feel, wow, I got some energy, but I'm very calm. How can that be happening? It's kind of cool how that happens. So the more that we practice these, the more our body and our energy gets, our nervous system kind of get familiar and get used to it, and then it starts to feel pretty natural. Okay, so open your eyes, have a sip of water. Now they're gonna offer some other things here. If you press the hands very hard and do it vigorously, it will recharge you. If the mind has a lot of anxiety or confusion, add the mantra Sata Nama. These are just additional things that can help you with this. So this is a very cool, easy technique. A lot of the beauty of breath work is how simple it is and how wonderful the practices are to really effectively work on balancing your energy field. Okay, so now I want to share with you something here that is really an interesting technique of cross breathing. This one's called the sonic breath. This is a brain balance technique. It has 3 parts. The first 2 are for integration of male and female, or receiving and sending, or yin and yang, whatever feels the best for you. The terms are not so vitally important. It's the energy, the idea of balancing, the sending and receiving, the right and left side of the brain. And the third one is for grounding, which actually has a sound healing component to it, which we'll practice later. But I want to share the first 2 for you so that you can learn how to do this and find this really powerful and interesting way of balancing the aspects of your giving and receiving nature, left and right brain nature. So just as a review, whenever we're talking about right brain, that's related to the left, the left side of our body is connected, like the brain hemispheres are opposite. So whenever we're talking about the left side of the brain, we're talking about the right hand, the sending hand, right? And the receiving hand is the left side, which is connected to the right brain. So right brain is more intuitive, more creative, more feeling, sort of sensory oriented. Left brain is more analytical, more sort of mathematical, a little bit more structural in that, abstract in that respect. So whenever we're working with sending energy, we're connecting to this left side of the brain. Receiving energy, we're talking about the right brain coming in through the left hand. So now we were learning Wu Ji where we were using both hands to breathe in from the sky. In this one now we're getting a little bit more specialized where we're using one of the hands in a little bit more of a, intentional way. So if you look at this first one, we'll just read it quickly and then we'll practice. You close your eyes and imagine the breath is on the left side of the body. So you complete 3 full breaths focusing on the left side, and then you switch over and you complete 3 full breaths on the right side. The 7th breath is a balance of both. So one of the ways you can practice this, and this is something that's useful in yoga, is you can block one of the nostrils. So if you're breathing up the left side, you block the right nostril, and opposite for the other side. And then now we go to the second one, we're inhaling up the right, and then exhaling down the left. Then inhale up the left, exhale down the right. And we practice that cross breathing, where you're going up one side and down the other. So this is a way of working with visualization and feeling and sensing energy as it moves through your lungs and how it connects to the hemispheres of the brain. So it's an actual combination of different techniques that we're talking about. So have a sip of water, and we're going to practice this sonic breath, the first 2 parts. So I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, and then just plug your right nostril, push your nostril in with your right hand. Focus on the left side of your body right now. Breathe up the left side. Have a still point and breathe down the left side. Don't be so concerned about counting. Just breathe. Feels natural. Breathe up the left side. And breathe down the left side. And breathe up the left side. And breathe down the left side. And now cross over and plug your left nostril with your left hand. Focus the energy on the right side of your body. Breathe up the right side. And breathe down the right side. Breathe up the right. And breathe down the right side. And breathe up the right side. And down the right side. And now take 1 full breath, push that belly out with both nostrils. Exhale a nice cleansing sigh here. And just sitting quietly and just feel how you're feeling. Just notice. How do you feel in your body? How does your brain feel? Okay, good. Have a sip of water. And now we're going to practice the other technique. So open your eyes for a second. Let's just inhale up one side, exhale down the other side. So we're going to practice cross breathing now in a similar way, but your visualization is going to be crossing from one side of the brain to the other. But we're going to start with the right side of the body. So plug your left nostril, close your eyes. So I'm going to ask you to breathe up the right side of the body, all the way to the top, still point, exhale down the left. Now inhale up the left side to the top, one still point, crossover, exhale down the right. Focus on the right side, breathe in up. Cross over, block the right nostril, exhale down the left. Plug your left nostril, or breathe in up the left. Cross over, plug your left nostril, exhale down the right. One more time, breathe up the right. Cross over, breathe down the left. And now open both nostrils, take a deep breath in, push the belly out. And exhale with a sigh. So just take notice of how you feel here. Let yourself shake a little bit, shake it out. Open your eyes and have a sip of water. So you can see these are really simple but very powerful exercises. They teach us various aspects of how to balance our energy in a very simple, effective way. But just again, just sit quietly for a moment and just notice how your brain feels, how your body feels right now from those techniques. And just reflect on what you just experienced and how does it make you feel in this present moment. All right, beautiful. Now I'm gonna share one other technique with you in a few minutes, but what I'd like to do now is just get into a little bit more of a Qigong experience where you can feel some of the aspects of the energy field. So we're gonna stand again, okay? And we're gonna work with a couple of different warm-up techniques just to get some energy flowing in the body. Okay, so we kind of did a few things earlier. I want to ask you if you would just kind of shake your arms like this. We're going to go back and forth with these arm swings. We mentioned that this is the water element season of winter. And these are exercises. This one is good for tapping the kidneys when you come around with your hand in the back. See if you can tap your kidney as you come around. When we tap, we're activating some of the energy here in the different organs. And the kidneys are really important, sometimes called the door of life. The adrenals are here, and we were talking about the nervous system regulation. The adrenal glands are really a big part of that. The adrenaline, when it gets released, and if we have stress or fight or flight, we're talking about adrenaline and cortisol, these chemicals that can get released into the blood. I'll just breathe. If you want to notice your breathing here, I like to do 2 of each, like a breathe in, breathe out, or you can do 3, like breathe in and breathe out. Just find the rhythm that feels best for you. Really good for balancing hemispheres of the brain and for creating a nice left-right balance in the body, which we were talking about a lot here today. Now I'll reach up and tap your lungs. And we're going to activate the metal element in the lungs here a little bit. And again, this is where our breathing really gets activated when we tap the lungs. We're kind of giving a little jump start of breathing. We like to start our Qigong routines, our brocades, our forms in the lungs. Get the cardio and vascular opened up right away here. Get the energy in the heart and lungs moving. Just nice, easy breaths. Now we're going to come up and tap here between the neck and the shoulder. This is the first activation point here for our vagus nerve, which is at the bottom of the skull and top of the spine. So any upper body, techniques for opening energy and stimulating energy gives that vagus nerve a good tonification jumpstart. Vagus nerve is going to be very important. We're going to refer to that a lot in some of our future practices. and how to regulate our nervous system and balance the emotions. Vagus nerve, of course, is the longest nerve in the body, connects to all of the organs, is constantly giving us readings on how we're doing with our feelings and digestion, etc. Okay, now come down and go a little faster. Just do a little dance, get the energy moving here. Shake it out. Now again, put your hands close and see if you can feel that ball of energy here between your hands. Come right below the dantian here and see if you can feel the energy of your dantian. Stand shoulder width. Now we're going to breathe in and lift up all the way up to the sky and exhale down to your thighs. Breathe in up again. Exhale down to your knees. Breathe in up again. Exhale down to your shins. Breathe in up. Exhale down to the earth. Once again, lift that earth energy up. Come up around you. And come into standing tree. This is what we learned before, the standing tree. You can feel this ball of energy between your hands and your chest. Just close your eyes, see if you can feel it. We call this pushing and pulling the mountain. The more you practice, the more you'll notice this ball of energy here. This is our aura or biofield. Purification techniques for the biofield is what we're working with here, clearing. And now your affirmation here is, all of my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. All of my thoughts and feelings in this present moment are positive and repowering. And my energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. My energy field is strong, clear, and resilient. And now open up your field, open up your eyes wide for the good of all. Bring it into your dantian. Close your stance. Breathe in, push the belly out. And now open your stance and place your hands again facing the earth. Feel the energy of the earth coming up. And now we're going to put our arms wide here and massage the energy field around you like this. See if you can just feel it, notice it. Now we're going to flap your wings and breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. One more time. Come around to the front. Feel the field in front of you. And now your hands to the front. And now make waves. Breathe in. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe in. Breathe in. Massage your field. And now scoop the energy, come up, and contain it above the crown chakra. See if you can feel that energy field above you, just gently, gently pushing. And now smoothing your field down in layers. Anchor at the third eye with your middle fingers, elbows out, close your eyes. Feel the energy of your third eye, your visualization center, also related to the pineal gland, which we'll talk about later. Take a nice easy breath here. Exhale, come back around to the vagus nerve bindu point at the bottom of the skull and massage that point. Just give it a good massage. You can also visualize a magenta color here, like a nice sort of red-pink color of the bindu, or the medulla oblongata, the vagus nerve center. Come along the edges of the skull and just massage here. Now come to the throat, lift your throat, your head, and massage your thyroid very gently. Fire finger in the center of your neck, massage the thymus. Boost your immune system here. Switch, the same thing. And now a balance point, hand on the dantian, middle finger under your nose, balance 1, 2, switch. Now we're crossing underneath the clavicles and massage that soft spot there that helps calm our stomach meridian for our digestion. Now up and down the center line of the body, from the belt to the neck with the chakras. And now tapping and vowel sounds. Oh, we're going to talk about the vowels a lot more in the next class and how they relate to the organs, the energy of the vowels. Now we're going to tap down the inside of the left arm, up the outside, tapping down the right, outside, down the backs of your legs and up the front. Now here in your qua area between your hips and your torso, a sea of chi, very powerful, concentrated energy center here in the body. Now lift up, breathe in, and throw it down. Lift up, throw it down. Lift up. One more time, up. Shake it out. And just come back to your standing Wuji for a moment. And now close your stance, hands over the dantian. Breathe in and out. Have a sip of water. And we're going to do a couple of heart and lung brocades, starting with the lung. This is the mudra. Hand position. Stand as wide as your shoulders, fingers pointing down at the earth. We're going to lift, take your breath, point the fingers up to the sky, visualize white, pure chi coming into the lungs. Exhale. Once again, lift, emptiness, breathe. Point the fingers to the sky, visualize white, pure chi coming into the lungs. Exhale. And one more lift. Exhale. Close your stance, hands over the dantian. Breathe in, push the belly out. And exhale, pull it back to your spine. Shake out your hands. Now this hand position for the heart. We're going to put our elbows at our sides, stand as wide as your shoulders, palms facing up to the sky. Come back around, sweep the kidneys, almost touch the hands, push up and out. Visualize red fire element chi coming into the heart, life force fire energy. Exhale. Once again, come around, push up. Red fire chi into the heart. Exhale. And once again, come around the kidneys, push up and out. Exhale. And close your stance, hands over the dantian. Breathe in, push the belly out, exhale back. And now your hands to your heart and your affirmation. I treat myself and others with love, kindness, respect, and compassion. I treat myself and others with love, kindness, respect, and compassion. All right, very good, everyone. Thank you. Have some water. And now take a moment, as it feels good for you, to allow yourself to lie down flat on your back. On your bed, on your yoga mat, wherever you feel the most comfortable, on your couch, and just let yourself relax. Just take a deep breath and let all the tension come out of your body. And just let yourself relax for the next few minutes and listen to the sounds. We're going to be working mostly with metal sounds. Metal element is for breathing. So when we're talking about the lungs and breath, metal instruments help to stimulate the breathing. And I think that you'll find these also very relaxing and deeply powerful. And so just do as much breathing as you can in this relaxed position. I'll help guide you. So go ahead and close your eyes for a moment. Focus on your breath and your lungs. Put one hand over the dantian, right hand over your dantian, left hand over your heart. And take a deep breath in. Breathe in through the base of your spine. Exhale through your feet into the earth. Again, push that belly out when you breathe in. Breathe in through the base of the spine. Exhale through your feet. And just keep breathing in a nice relaxed fashion, same way. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, and when you feel ready, you can put your energy into your toes. Take a deep breath into your toes and your feet, tense the muscles. And exhale. And now put the energy into your ankles and calves. Tense the muscles in the ankles and calves. Breathe in. Exhale. And now the energy in your thighs and knees. Breathe into the thighs and knees. Tense the muscles. Exhale. And now into your lower abdomen. Take a breath into the lower abdomen. Tense the muscles. And exhale. And now focus on the solar plexus. Take a deep breath into the solar plexus. Tense the muscles. Exhale. And now bring your energy to your heart. Place your hands over your heart. Visualize a pink rose quartz field of energy around your heart. The color of unconditional love, self-acceptance and compassion, of forgiveness, non-judgment. And take a deep breath of gratitude into your heart. Breathe in. Exhale. Gratitude for your family and friends, for the We Spark community, for your treatment team, for all the wonderful services available in the community here. Gratitude for life. Gratitude for love. And just feel the energy moving through the cells of your body. Pink, loving energy moving through all the cells with each breath. Now a nice deep cleansing breath. Breathe in. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And come on back into the space and say hello to everyone, if you feel like it. Have a drink of water, let yourself come back into the space.